Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking my Premier League predictions. It's going to be a couple-minute video, one of my long-form videos. But we're starting at the bottom, which I think is going to be Burnley. The reason why I've chosen Burnley is because, like the 23-24 season, they haven't signed anyone amazing. Their squad isn't very strong, whilst Sunderland has. And Leeds, but Burnley, they signed Kyle Walker and Dubravka and a few other signings, but I don't think they're going to do well. I mean, they're all very old, and I didn't see them doing well, so that's why I'm putting them 20th again. Next, at 19th, I think is going to be, it's tough, but I feel one team could stay out this season, but I think although the amount of players Sunderland have signed, like Adringa, Xhaka, and all these other players that are really good, I want them to do well, but I don't think they can get past the relegation zone. And if I look at the other squads, I just feel the other squads are more open up to the Premier League consistently. So that's why I'm going to put Sunderland at 19th. But I could easily be wrong. Like I said, this isn't accurate because this is my predictions. But now let's go to 18th. And I think for a while, for the first time in like 2-3 years, we're going to have a team that has stayed up. And that's, I think, Brentford will be relegated. And this is why. Because Brentford were looking strong last season. They had a good season. I think they came 11th. But this season, they've lost Thomas Frank to Spurs and they've lost Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo helped Wissa, but they're also going to lose Wissa. So once they lose those signings, I don't see them staying up. I mean, their defence isn't the strongest. Their attack now isn't the strongest. And they're just going to keep losing their players. And that's why I think Brentford will get relegated, because I think Leeds have a stronger squad than Brentford now that I look at it. Or maybe even Sunderland. I reckon Sunderland could come 17th and Leeds could come 19th. But I'm certain I want to put Brentford there. But now if we go 17th, don't say Spurs, okay? We had a bad season, but don't say Spurs. Because I think Wolves or Leeds might just scratch relegation. But for now, I'm going to put Leeds. Don't want to put it in caps lock. Leeds at 17th. And this is because they haven't made many signings. I just feel they have a stronger squad than these three teams below. And I think they can definitely survive and then grow on to not currently get relegated. I don't have a lot to say about Leeds, but that's what I'm putting them for. 16th, I think Wolves and Leeds will be very close to relegation. Wolves haven't made any signings. Obviously, they lost Cunha and Aït-Nouri, but they have good replacements in those left-back role, but not yet Cam, but they do have a strong striker, which is Jørgen Strand Larsen, who we saw last season. I think Wolves very well could get relegated, but in my opinion, I don't think they will. So that's why I'm putting them 16th. 15th, I think it could be Everton. I'm looking at their squad. I think they have a solid squad, nothing too crazy. Last season they had the same squad, similar squad. Came 14th, I think. I don't see why they wouldn't come 15th. I could see them coming maybe even 11th. But I think for now I'm going to put them at 15th. Because they do have good players like Njai and some other solid, actually, back line. So I feel, actually, now I would want to put them higher. Like, right now, I actually want to put them 13th. But maybe we can do a part 2 and maybe correct it, maybe in your in the comments, maybe what you think's right. But this is just my list, so I'm just going to put Everton 15th for now, but I feel I shouldn't put them higher. But let's go to 14th, and I think 14th is actually going to be Fulham. And the reason is, I just don't think, I've looked at all the other teams making signings, and I just feel their squad is maybe lacking a tiny bit. But I don't have too much to say about Fulham. But I think this season this is kind of their general spot. But I think maybe they're gonna drop off a tiny bit. But I could also see them coming, like I said, with Everton, maybe 11th or 10th. 13th, I think it's actually going to be surprising because I've actually not used West Ham yet. And I kind of did that for a reason because obviously West Ham did come 15th or 16th last season. They had a really, really bad season and recently they've been dropping off. But I feel they've made a couple of signings. I can't quite remember who they are. They signed Mads Manson, which is also good. And I feel they could climb up the ranks a bit. And I could also see, obviously, Everton and Fulham doing better than them, which I kind of forgot about West Ham to put on this list. But I'm confident West Ham could do a lot better this season. And because that was kind of more of a one season. They have been dropping off like Man United from obviously that Conference League win and losing Declan Rice like 3 years ago. But I think West Ham could be doing better. At 12th, I believe it's going to be Nottingham Forest. Because Chris Wood, I think that was kind of more of a one season, and now we know he's going to turn 34 this season. And they've obviously lost Elanga as well. I don't think the team chemistry with now Elanga being gone will be the same. It's not a one-man team, of course, with Elanga, but there's obviously amazing other players like Gibbs White as well. And they have a good defence. I just think last season was more lucky, I guess. They did come 7th or 8th. So I think 12th is fair, and I think I can definitely put them 12th. But in 11th, I'm going to put Bournemouth. The reason is, although they did well against Liverpool, but they've lost a lot of their defence, like Zabani, Housen, however you say his name, or Kirkes, all these defending players. Also, at the moment, Kluivert is injured, so he might not be the same as he was last season. They have a good attack, but I think like last season, this is going to be roughly their spot. But now we are moving on to the top 10, and at 10th, I think we're going to have, it's a bit of a surprise, but Brighton, because Brighton, they haven't made many signings there yet. They've lost Joao Pedro. They came 9th or 8th last season, which is good, but it's just a tiny bit of a drop-off. And they've lost Joao Pedro as well, which is a big loss, but they haven't really made many signings yet. So correct me if I've missed out an obvious one, which I probably know about, but yeah. In 9th place, I think it's actually, you're going to be very surprised, but I think we're going to have Newcastle United. They had an astonishing season last season, and now obviously they have Langa, which is great, but I feel they're going to have a massive drop-off because obviously now they have Champions League football. They did have it the season before last. They've had it quite a lot, but I feel now that because Isak's refused to play, with that big of a player, your team leader who bangs in all the goals for you, and then he's decided not to play, they now needed a replacement striker. And for Newcastle, basically, it sounds stupid, but a lot of the strikers are gone because like teams like Arsenal and Liverpool and Man United have signed them, and they don't have good depth in that position. So I think Newcastle are going to come 9th. Also, a lot of their defenders are quite aged now, and I think age could hit some of these players. So it's surprising, but it's just my predictions. But in 8th, I think is going to be Manchester United. And the reason is because I don't think one of Cunha or Mbeumo won't do well. I'm leaning towards Mbeumo. Because, as we've seen many times, Manchester United, players have signed, but then they completely flop. Like, don't sign for Man United when you're basically in your prime or when you're young. But I think I'm definitely seeing Cunha doing very well. I don't think Mbeumo will do very well at all. Oh, what was done on my keyboard. And Sesko, I think he could get a quite good few goals. But their attack is strong, but then their defence is pretty shocking. I mean, yeah, they do have Lenny Oro. De Ligt on a good day is good, but then they're still using Harry Maguire and Onana in goal. And I don't think they're getting Donnarumma because I think that he's going to City. That's just my opinion on Manchester United. I could also see them coming like 12th. I could also see them coming 6th maybe. But I think after a season they had last season, I think it's gonna be a very good improvement. But for 7th place, it's tough. But I was leaning towards either Spurs or Aston Villa. But I'm going for Spurs. Obviously, we had a bad season last season, but I feel we can easily come back because in 23-24 we had almost the exact same squad, but now in 24-25 plus like Brennan Johnson and Solanke. It's just last season at one point we had 9 first team injuries. There's something going wrong in that medical team. I'm not saying it's just injuries, that is an excuse, but it is a big part, and we still do have a lot of injuries now, huge injuries, but we did win the Europa League. Now we're in the Champions League. We're probably going to sign Eze and Savinho. I think 7th is solid. We'll probably maybe scratch Conference League because, sometimes if someone wins Carabao Cup, it shifts up a place. But I think 7th is definitely right. We could come 6th. It's not our normal selves because, as you know, in previous seasons, we come usually 5th, 4th, sometimes even 3rd. But I think we'll slowly climb back. I think 7th, then who knows next season. But this is my prediction. We could also do a lot worse with more injuries. But I think Thomas Frank's tactics will do well. Unlike Ange Postecoglou's, who was so attacking, there were so many injuries. So 6th, I think classic Aston Villa. Don't see them doing much better. Their attack's good, defence good, everything's solid for them. Usual kind of place for them. I don't see why they'd do worse. Don't see they could do better, but that's, I think, a fair position to put Aston Villa. At 5th, we are going to have... Guys, I forgot to put Crystal Palace in, so I've just moved around down the order, so I think Crystal Palace will come 9th. They're going to lose Eze, but I think how they fought against Liverpool was very good. I think they're still going to perform well, so I think Man United 7th, Spurs 6th, getting Conference, maybe Europa, and Aston Villa 5th. Top 4. I think 4th is going to be actually, surprisingly, Arsenal. I think Gyökeres will do well, but I think now City will climb back up. Not as strongly. I think, City will climb back up. 3rd place will be good. They'll, obviously, after last season. But, so I think 3rd is a good place for City. But I think 2nd place, surprisingly, is going to be Chelsea because in pre-season they've done very well. They have Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, who's very good. And their defence is very good. They've got a lot of depth in that position. And then finally, Sanchez, I think, is doing well like he did in pre-season. So I don't think there's many room for error in Chelsea. They've got lots of depth. So I think 2nd is good. Let me just put City there. And then Chelsea there. And that makes Liverpool the champions again. I mean, they've got an even stronger squad. Frimpong is a downgrade, I guess, from Trent. We haven't seen him properly in the Prem. Kirkez has proved himself in the Prem, as we know. And now Florian Wirtz will be, I think, very, very strong. And they still have players like Van Dijk and Salah. And Hugo Ekitike, who is very good in the attack, as we've seen in pre-season. And against Bournemouth. So that's my Premier League predictions. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe.